Good morning children, welcome to your English class. I am Vandana Sharma and I will be taking this class. So today we are going to start with chapter 3, your supplementary reader book, that is Snapshots, and the name of the chapter is Ranga's Marriage. The author of this chapter is Masti Venkatesha Iyengar. Fine. So let me give you one synopsis of this chapter. This chapter is an humorous account of a person, our protagonist, whose name is Ranga. His views changes from stereotype to some extraordinary, and how it changes. The views about the marriage, they change. He belongs to a very small town, a village, Koshahalli, and that time, if you remember, in the past time, ancient times, in India, the child marriage was quite prevalent. Fine. So all the people, they were into this custom. Ranga was the first person from his village who had gone to Bangalore for higher studies. Fine. So how the thoughts regarding, how his ideas, how his viewpoint regarding marriage changed after his studies. The chapter is all about that. Very humorously the chapter has been described. So let us start it. I hope you will enjoy reading it. Ranga, the accountant's son, is one of the rare breed among the village folk who has been to the city to pursue his studies. Sabse iklauta tha wo, he was the first one who had gone to city to study. When he returned to his village from the city of Bangalore, the crowds milled around his house to see whether he has changed or not. His ideas about marriage are now quite different, or are they? Kya wo change hue the ya wo same the? We will just see in this chapter. So before that, please, I just hope that all of you are having your books. Please, all of you, open your books. It's page number 16, chapter number 3. Word by word I will be describing. Open your books and read along with me. Fine? When you see this title, some of you may ask. Now this is very unconventional. First of all, when you would have just read this chapter, Ranga's marriage, very unconventional topic. Ranga's marriage, why not Ranganatha Vivaha or Ranganatha Vijaya? In South India, they call the marriage is called the Vijaya or the Vivaha. Well, yes, I know I could have used some other mouth-filling one like Jagannatha Vivaha, Vijaya, or Girija Kalyana. They are the South Indian words for the marriage. But why Ranga's marriage? Sarcastically, it has been used because here we are just depicting the difference between education and the non-educated people, the uneducated people and the educated people. So that's a difference here. Fine. So that's why sarcastically the author has used the word marriage. उसने विवाह नहीं use किया, उसने कल्याणा नहीं use किया, उसने क्या use किया है marriage. Ranga's marriage. Ranga, the so-called unconventional boy, जो पढ़ा लिखा है और जो इन सब so-called social evils से दूर है, इन कुरीतियों से दूर है, लेकिन बाद में क्या वो दूर है या नहीं, वो हम इस चैप्टर के थ्रू पता करेंगे. Fine. So it is about our own Ranga's marriage, and hence no fancy title. Koshahalli is our village. Now here the narrator is giving us an introduction to the village Koshahalli that he is describing here. You must have heard of it. No? Nahi suna aapne? What a pity. But it is not your fault. Now here the author, he is describing why it is not important that you must have heard about Koshahalli. Now the reason being, number one, the Britishers, the people who were ruling over us before independence, they did not bother to mention about this village on the Indian map. And similarly, their followers, the Indian officers, they also didn't bother because majority they follow the crowd. Because earlier it was not happening, they simply copy-pasted that and they didn't mention that. And this was the reason that even the cartographer, the person who makes the maps, he also didn't bother to add that Koshahalli village into that map, So there is not even a single trace of this village Hoshahalli on the Indian map. So that is the reason, and the narrator, he is describing here. It is a narrative account. It is written in the first person. The narrator, he is describing it in the first person. Hoshahalli is our village. You must have heard of it. But it is not your fault. There is no mention of it in any geography book. Those sahibs in England, writing in English, probably do not know that such a place exists. Now, again, one satire is here that the people, they were sitting in England. The Britishers, they were sitting in England and they were making the map of India sitting over there. So how would they come to know that there is any such place like Hoshahalli? That was the reason that they did not mention. And so make no mention of it. Our own people too forget about it. हमारे अपने लोग जो Indians थे वो भी इस बारे में भूल गए. You know how it is? They are like a flock of sheep. One sheep walks into a pit, the rest blindly follow it. अगर एक sheep गड्ढे में जाता है तो बाकी सभी उसको blindly follow करते हुए वो भी गड्ढे में चले जाते हैं. Means majority follows the crowd. There are very less people, very rare people who just stand, who just put up their own voice. So that is the reason here. When both the sahibs in England and our own geographers have not referred to it, you cannot expect the poor cartographer to remember to put it on the map. Can you? जब इतने बड़े बड़े साहिब लोग जो ऑफिसर्स हैं वही भूल गए तो हम एक कार्टोग्राफर से कैसे हम एक्सपेक्ट करते हैं कि वो उसका मेंशन करता. And so there is not even the shadow of our village in any map. और इसलिए हमारे मैप का कहीं भी दूर दूर तक कोई भी मेंशन नहीं है मैप पर विलेज का. Sorry, I started somewhere and then went off in another direction. If the state of Mysore is to Bharatvarsha, now here he is giving the importance of Hoshahalli. Why Hoshahalli is important? किस लिए है? He is giving us some comparisons कि जैसे भारतवर्ष इंडिया के लिए मैसूर स्टेट important है. What the sweet karigadabu is to a festive meal. इसी तरह के karigadabu is a kind of a sweet जिसके अंदर कुछ फीलिंग होती है, मीठी एक डिश होती है जो कि फेस्टिवल्स में बनती है. जैसे वो अपनी फीलिंग के बिना जो karigadabu है, it is nothing. Then Hoshahalli is to Mysore state what the feeling is to karigadabu. इसी तरह Hoshahalli जो विलेज है वो मैसूर स्टेट के लिए इम्पोर्टेंट है जैसे कि karigadabu के लिए वो फीलिंग इम्पोर्टेंट है. इफ यू टेक द लोकल एग्जांपल, जैसे एक समोसा है वो बिना पोटैटो के कुछ नहीं है. Similarly, he is comparing that as if the samosa is nothing without a potato, similarly Mysore state is nothing without the mentioning of this village Hoshahalli. Fine. What I have said is absolutely true. Believe me, I will not object to your questioning it, but I will stick to my opinion. वो कहता है कि मैं तुम्हें जो भी बता रहा हूँ तुम ये मत सोचो कि मैं एक्सेजरेशन कह रहा हूँ. हर किसी को अपना नेटिव प्लेस अच्छा लगता है. इट्स नॉट दैट. सो कह रहा है कि मैं जो भी आपको बता रहा हूँ इट्स टोटली इम्पोर्टेंट. And now he will give us a few examples, 2-3 examples he will give us why this village Hoshahalli is important. I am not the only one who speaks glowingly of Hoshahalli. वो कहता है कि मैं सिर्फ अकेला नहीं हूँ. There are many other people. One of them is we have a doctor in our place. His name is Kunda Bhatta. He agrees with me. He has been to quite a few places. No, not England. कहते नहीं बहुत सब दुनिया में घूमे हैं लेकिन इंग्लैंड नहीं गया वो. If anyone asks him whether he has been there, he says no, Anaya. I have left that to you. कहता नहीं मुझे कहीं घूमने का शौक नहीं है. That I have left to you. तुम ही संभालो उसे. Running around like a flea-pestered dog is not for me. Flea-pestered एक ऐसा dog जिसको fleas जो हैं वो लग जाते हैं and it just keeps on moving around because of that itching. So he said कि मैं I just cannot move around like a flea-pestered dog. I have seen a few places in my time though, लेकिन मैं कुछ जगह मैंने visit की हैं. As a matter of fact, he has seen many. कहता लेकिन उसने बहुत सारी जगह उसने visit की हैं लेकिन वो थोड़ा modest हो रहा है that I have not been to many places. and because of that he is giving the comparison that I just want to be in Khoshahalli, मैं इस जगह को छोड़कर नहीं जाना चाहता. What he wants to convey, that that person, that doctor, he has visited many places, but Khoshahalli is so important to him that he doesn't want to leave this place. Clear? Now another example is of a raw mango. He is giving another example that raw mango is also quite famous of that place. We have some mango trees in our village. Come visit us and I'll give you a raw mango from one of them. Do not eat it. Now he is giving us one precaution also. Why? Just take a bite. The sourness is sure to go straight to your brahmandra. कि इतना तीखा, इतना खट्टा है वो बिल्कुल आपके ब्रह्मांद्रा जो होता है, it's a place where the head and the skull, the center of the skull, that is there. So it totally just enlightens that. So that is why he is just mentioning here. I once took one such food home after and a chutney was made out of it. He is giving one example, the narrator. He once we just took that raw mango. He didn't know about the qualities of that mango. He prepared a chutney. The whole family consumed it and they had a terrible cough after that. So when he had visited the doctor, then only the doctor told him, oh, you have consumed that mango, that is very sour and you should take precaution in future. So this is another reason why Khoshahalli is important, because of that raw mango. So we have discussed two things. Number one is the doctor who has visited so many places, still he finds Khoshahalli important. Number two, the raw mango, because of that Khoshahalli is important. Now the third one is he is talking about one creeper. There is one creeper, एक बेल जो होती है जो किसी भी पेड़ का सहारा लेकर ऊपर चढ़ती है. He is talking about a creeper. उसके पत्ते इतने बड़े हैं that you can use that as clothes also. You can use that as your plate also to just serve the food. But just as the mango is special, so is everything else around our village. We have a creeper growing in the ever so fine water of the village home. Its flowers are a feast to behold. इसके फूल इतने सुंदर हैं कि उसको देखकर बहुत खुशी मिलती है. Feast to behold means something which pleases your soul. Get 2 leaves from the creeper when you go to the pond for your bath, and you will not have to worry about not having leaves on which to serve the afternoon meal. So the two benefits that he is telling you, just go to the pond, have your bath, and while coming back just take 2 leaves of that creeper and you will just have the plates to serve your food during the afternoon. You will say I am rambling. It is always like that when the subject of our village comes up. But enough. If any of you would like to visit us, drop me a line. I'll let you know where Khoshahalli is and what things are like here. The best way of getting to know a place is to visit it. Don't you agree? Of course, अगर आपको किसी जगह के बारे में, किसी स्थान के बारे में अच्छे से जानना है, तो आपको उसे visit करना पड़ता है. That is the reason. Fine. What I am going to tell you is something that happened 10 years ago. Now he is starting giving one more example of why Khoshahalli, because English was not prevalent at that time. He is giving another example. I'll summarize it. What happens that English was not that common in those times. So once he had with the narrator, he was visiting his friend. His name was Ramarao, who was our protagonist, Ranga's father also. When he was there comes one lady. She was carrying the firewood. Now she asked for the money, and when the money was given to her, the author, he didn't have the change. So he said, okay, I'll give you the change later on, after tomorrow I'll give you. She thought that he was not willing to pay to her. That's why she just went away from that place, muttering, okay, I'll come tomorrow, you don't want to give me money. So that was a confusion created because she didn't know English. So that was another feature, and this was the basic thing because of which Ranga was sent to Bangalore for higher study. So our chapter, the main crux of the chapter will start in the next video. The second part of the story we will discuss. Hope you understand up to this point. Please do have a reading of the text. We will meet in the next